All right, rock and roll, guys. If you're interested in stock market technical analysis, trade ideas, hopefully profitable ones, can't guarantee that, but then follow along, subscribe, like. Again, if you guys are interested in learning this as a skill set, then I have a top stock market technical analysis course, priced affordable, lots of valuable content in there. It's not a get-rich-quick day trading course. It is literally a technical analysis course. It teaches how to read the charts, what to look for trade setups, how to find actionable trades, risk-reward management, all the tools needed to be successful. So, link in the description below on that one. And then finally, for $5 a month, you can join my private member group. In that group, I give you guys additional market insights, additional trade ideas, really in there every morning. It's very easy for me to communicate with that group directly and more frequently. So if you're interested in that, then join up. Link in the description below. And I try to put out some winners in that one as well. Okay, guys, let's get into the charts. Triple Qs. We are rallying up to our target right now. Right now, my target is about 279.50. This is the daily chart on our tech sector. And again, this is kind of your support. This was your former support zone. And it seems to be a former area of, should be resistance right here. So I'm looking for that to continue to rally. Let me drop down to the hourly chart, show you what's going on. Again, we bought this thing, I was looking for a rally, and again, during that time frame, during the Christmas holidays, they kept kind of dipping it below and running stops, but at the end of the day, no indication that we were not going to rally, and we had bullish divergence on the momentum indicators, telling me, if I can get my chart to draw it right there, telling me that we were likely going to rally to the upside out of this trading range, and there it is. Okay, so it's not the time to be going long, at least in my book, but the trade has mostly worked out. So from here, now we look at what's going on next. There's our 279.46. You can see on the hourly chart, as I zoom in, starting to put in some negative divergence here on the hourly. Okay, so I suspect, here's what I think is going to happen. I think we pop up here to this 279 area, 280, somewhere right in there. I think we pop up there. I think we keep the negative divergence. We don't have to, but I think we do. And then from there, CPI comes out tomorrow. So they're probably going to sell this thing down either on the initial CPI reading or maybe before, but that's resistance. So I'm looking to close out my longs at this 279 area, take some profit, and then probably what I'm looking to do, and what I do is not what everyone should do, but what I'm looking to do is probably flip to a minor, kind of a mild short position. Not a fully loaded short, but probably a mild short position. Ahead of the CPI, I don't want to load up and take on that much of risk right ahead of a market moving event, but we will be at resistance, and if we have the negative divergence on the hourly chart, I think it's very likely we could see some sort of a correction or the potential start of the next leg down in the bear market. Nasdaq futures coming up to that area of resistance, that big area of resistance right there, about 11,495, just underneath that. So getting pretty close, and you don't want to wait for the exact level to hit. So we're definitely getting in the area where it's going to make sense to start taking profit, I think, and probably flip short. This is a divergent high as of right now on the hourly chart, and I suspect that'll hold. So I'm looking for, run up into resistance with the negative divergence on the hourly right before a market moving event like the CPI. I think it makes sense to probably take a mild short. So that's what I'm looking to do. Small caps. So small caps on the daily chart at major resistance. So you'll see here, this trend line is our bear market starting back in November of 21. You can see resistance, 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 and we're at resistance now. So it's run up. I think you're probably due for a pullback. And I think that pullback will probably come on the CPI reading. So obviously anything can happen. They could pop this trend line at resistance, and it could be even a stronger rally, completely possible. And that's why, if I was going to take a position, it would be a mild position in my mind, right before a big risk event like that. But it looks like it's at resistance. So I have closed out my long in IWM. Okay, took profit and looking for the next move. Okay, natural gas looks interesting to me for a long trade. I pointed it out in the private member group early this morning when it was at the most objective long area. You can see here on this hourly chart, this is your downtrend line in the nat gas futures. This is what I use to chart nat gas. We broke out right here. We have bullish divergence on nat gas. That still remains, so that looks good. Here's your breakout, and it's just been backtesting that trend line. Backtest 1, and today, backtest 2. And this is where I pointed it out to the private member group, okay? So again, join up if you for $5 a month. This thing's up already 6.5% off that entry, objective entry. And sure enough, we're bouncing off of the that backtest. So I think it's very likely that nat gas is probably going to continue to rally. Next, we've got some areas of resistance. A little one right here, it looks like about 380, but I think we head up to here, 414, and then I've got 438 roughly, and then there's one way up here at 475. So those are my levels. Pause the video and mark it out, but those are my levels where we could rally to. Again, that's an hourly chart. So you look at the daily, just a rally up here to 475 is just, move right up to that major resistance on the daily chart. And it's about a 28%, 29% potential rally. So that's what I have on that. Gas looks good. Here's gold futures. Again, just continues to grind within this bearish rising wedge. So it's not objective to be long gold right now. We're at this bearish rising wedge at this resistance line right here, the top end of it. Negative divergence in play. Not a very steep divergence, but definitely have it. So they could pop this to the upside, and maybe it's that kind of fake out move you'll see where they go like that. But in general, it just doesn't look objective to be long gold, or at least not taking any new positions. I'd probably tighten stops if anything. And that's it. I think we probably are due for a pullback here in gold. And you can look at the dollar for general analysis. For me, this is the dollar futures. If I look at the weekly chart on the dollar, I've got a trend line coming off of 2011. So I've got each area, each time it tagged that as support, marked out. And you can see, just zooming in, we're basically there at that trend line right here. A little lower, so they could dip it below. They could maybe even break it and recover it. Anything, when you're so close to a trend line, expect some games to get played, but close enough to support where it's not objective to be, to be short the dollar, which is in essence long gold. When I look at the hourly chart, really actually the daily chart, it's a little more clear on the daily. Look at the daily chart here. You'll see bullish divergence on the RSI and PPO. All right, there it is. And we just continue to kind of drift lower. These are divergent lows, so, and it's at major support. It's a bullish setup basically right here. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have on the dollar. Trade idea, trade setup here, MDT. I've talked about this one in the past as a setup. It hasn't triggered yet, so it's still a bullish setup. Bullish falling wedge pattern on the daily chart. Clean bullish divergence on the daily chart. And just sitting right there at resistance. We need to see a buy signal and a breakout of the trend line to initiate a long position. First area of resistance is really, it's really right about here at about 87.24. I think we should get up to there. Let's check. It's about a 7-8% rally up to that first area of resistance. And then you got the 208 overhead. So you get close enough, you're probably going to run up and pop it, hit the 200. So we'll see. But that's... I like that for a long setup, just no actionable trade yet. And we'll cover First Solar, another short setup. Again, this has been a trade I've been watching for a while. We took a short on it, kind of worked out, didn't work out great, but we have another trade setup, so I want to point it out. Negative divergence on the daily. Nice, big, long, clean negative divergence that's really just been extended. Okay, we just continue to, make higher highs. If I kind of clean up the lines, you'll see that here's the momentum just dropping off. Your former high was right in here, and we just popped today above, making a new divergent high. But the negative divergence is still there, so That tells me that we're likely going to break down soon. We don't have a sell signal yet. One thing I'm watching, if I look at the hourly chart, one way to kind of get a jump on it is you've got this little trend line right here. It's not even that well defined, so this might have to firm up a little bit more. But a break of that could be a sell signal for the start of a big move down. So that's it. But again, with CPI coming out tomorrow, to me, it doesn't make sense to take a position until after that's out of the way, and we'll see how this chart shapes up. But it is definitely it's definitely a setup for a short, not actionable yet. Okay, well, that's really all I have. So you guys know what my thoughts are. If you guys are finding value, leave a comment, drop me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the